Hi, my name is Christopher Teipner, and I'm the director of Sideshow at Ashland Productions.
Hi, my name is Marissa Noe. I am playing Daisy Hilton.
My name is Erica Kerstetter, and I'm playing Violet Hilton.
Sideshow tells the story of conjoined twins Daisy and Violet Hilton and their life.
Daisy is the sister that's a little more fame-focused. She likes to be the center of attention a little bit more than Violet would, I would say. She's a little feistier, and she, I would say, always speaks her mind.
Violet is very different. Violet's definitely the shyer, more reserved of the two twins. She holds her cards pretty close to her chest. You often don't know what she's feeling unless she's willing to tell you.
Sideshow tells the story of humanity in a very different way than I've ever seen told before.
It's really interesting just seeing how quickly Daisy can pick up on Violet's cues when she knows that she's feeling a certain way, or she's reacting to a certain something that somebody said or something somebody did. Daisy knows immediately how Violet's feeling, and Violet's like, I didn't say a word, how did you know that? And she's like, I'm your sister. Of course I know, which is really sweet.
Yeah, I think they have a bond that is unknown to, or unlike any other bond that I've ever seen, and I think that's really special.
Sideshow is a show that I learned of in the late 90s, and I fell in love with the music. It's the music that drew me in.
The music is so good. The music in this show is so wonderful.
Yes.
I think the music alone is reason enough to come to the show, and then you're gonna get this beautiful, gut-wrenching, emotional story that's gonna make you feel every emotion on the emotional spectrum.
Yeah, hopefully you'll laugh, you'll cry, all the other emotions.
The other thing that drew me to it was it's this weird mix of modern sounding music, classical music theater, and the vaudevillian style of music. And you're going to see all of those numbers mixed into one, and you're going to see people live some of their most emotional moments right in front of your eyes.
Ultimately, at its core, this show is about acceptance. It's about accepting yourself and wanting to be accepted by your peers and your community. And I think everybody can relate to that on a certain level.
Yeah, and one of the big numbers in the show is called Who Will Love Me As I Am? And I think that's a question that everybody can relate to, maybe one that you've asked yourself before. So yeah, I think people will have lots of things to connect on in this show.
Sideshow is relevant today because it's very important to me, and I was raised with the philosophy that those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And this cast is a really young cast, and a lot of the things that happened in the show would never have happened back then. But much like a Hamilton or something like that, none of us knew that story before Hamilton. Most of the world didn't know that story. And it's a fascinating story. And the same thing with Sideshow. It's a story that needs to be told because it's a part of history that happened, and if we don't know about it, it may happen again. Some of these shows that are about history, these musicals, are so important because they tell a perspective that's never been seen before.
Personally, for Daisy and Violet, I think that they have to navigate the world in a much different way than I would have ever imagined.
Being different is more often than not a good thing, I think. Oftentimes what makes you different is also the most special thing about you, and it's cool getting to see characters embrace that on stage.
And something I think that is really interesting in this show is a lot of the problems that people have are really like external societal issues that are being placed on them, and maybe their own internal shame about that. And I think that's a really cool thing to dive into.
Sideshow has some very intense moments, triggering, if you would use that. And the way that we're really looking at it is we're analyzing every moment in the show. I'm working with a cast ranging in age from 14 to 60. And I've created a safe environment for them to talk about what's triggering to them in the show. We're starting there, and we're addressing those moments. And moment by moment, we're trying to find those and what makes sense.
I think it's just important, like we said earlier, the show is about acceptance and compassion, and I think that's something that the world really could use a reminder on. Like, everybody has their own struggles and challenges and their own differences, and it's just important that we remember that and just show compassion for everyone.
It's really cool seeing characters that are so different from one another coexist and navigate the world together.
And the other piece of it that we really looked at is we were actually doing our first read through, and one of the actors said to me, I think that we can all work on being better people. And I think that's one of the mottos that I'm really going to take away from this. If I don't know what's happened, I can't look at where I've come from. And I every day want to work at being a better person and being a better in the society. And that's what I think the show does. It really examines it. It hits home. You're going to see some really hard moments in someone's life. And we all have them. And that's what's really unique and special. And as we've been going through the show, the cast is realizing, wow, I relate to this. I relate to this. And I think the audience is going to find those moments that they relate to.
Yeah, I mean, how do you navigate a relationship with anyone that's different than what you want and your own needs and things like that? I think they're sisters, and they, you know, obviously grew up being conjoined, so they had to learn from a very early age about compromise and things like that.
And you're going to see Daisy and Violet become young performers to experienced performers. And Daisy and Violet Hilton ended up being the highest paid vaudevillian act. They even made more money a week than Bob Hope did at their top of their career.
Physical demands.
The big one.
The big one is that we're conjoined at the hip. And it's been very interesting navigating, learning how to walk and sit and go up and down stairs at the same time, and even tap dance. We've been dancing together, conjoined at the hip. Which has been a learning curve for
yes,
sure.
And we're definitely still getting used to it, working out the kinks. And I think you should come see Sideshow because everyone in this cast is incredibly talented. The choreography is amazing, y'all.
It's so
I
good.
swear.
Oh my gosh.
We are so jealous.
Yes.
What I as a director hope that you take away from Sideshow is the feeling and the understanding of what these people went through, where they were, where we are, and where we can head to, and what we can strive to.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful story that is still so relevant in today's times, and we are so, so excited to get to bring this story to the Ashland stage.
Because there's something in the show that relates to everyone, and that's what makes this show special. It needs to be done. I'm so excited that we had the chance to get to do Sideshow.